LeithCars.com 0 to 60 with automotive journalist and radio host Mark Arson.
So we got a follow-up podcast to our 0 to 60 episode when we brought you the all-new 2021 Wrangler 4xE, and we teased another hot new Jeep that's in the showroom at Leith Chrysler Jeep, except this time it's kind of at the other end of the spectrum where you're not so concerned about efficiency, but it's all about the power, right? So we have Nathan Pollard, who is in sales here at Leith Chrysler Jeep in Raleigh. Nathan, thanks for joining us on the 0 to 60 podcast, and tell us what we have here, this beautiful black and gold trimmed Jeep. What does Jeep call this? And I guess, tell us what makes it special.
For sure. Thanks for having me. So this is our Jeep Wrangler 392. It is a new vehicle that they came out with. Pretty much this is the first one we got here on the ground a couple days ago. What it is, it's a four-door only Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. Now, what's special about this one is that it has a 6.4-liter Hemi in it. So they've definitely upped the horsepower on it. You're going to have 470 horsepower, so it's definitely going to be able to get up and go.
How much?
470 horsepower. So what that's going to also give you is it's going to match kind of near that 4xE. You're going to have 470 feet-pound of torque.
Which is amazing. I mean, when Frank Malfara was our guest for the 4xE, and the torque that thing is putting out is incredible. So it's actually comparable to the Hemi motor in this one.
Correct, yes. But this one's
just not as fast, 0 to 60, right?
0 to 60 in this one's going to be a staggering 4.5 seconds. And if any Wrangler owners out there know one thing, the Wrangler does not get up and go. So they'll definitely have a different experience with this one. Jeep actually added paddle shifters into this, so that it's more sports car like than anything now. So you get the full sports car experience, being able to pull a sunroof off. This one that we have here has our Sky One Touch roof, which is going to give you pretty much a full open air experience with a push of a button.
But let's talk about, before we get into some of those details, Nathan. The first thing that I notice, and especially since this one is in black, is that all the details that are trimmed in gold. So I guess you start with the engine call out on this hood scoop.
So on the hood they have a lot different hood scoop. We saw it earlier in the year in the Mojave and the Gladiator when they came out with it, but they actually made this one as a fully functioning hood scoop. So what it's going to do is provide air to the air intake as well as air flow to the engine, so that it will cool it off, because there is a hot, big engine under there that is working.
Yeah, because it looks like, you can see where the air, I guess the plenum, is sucking in air from the hood scoop exterior down into the airflow chamber, inside the manifold, right? But you also have these, I'll just call them baffles, that I guess that is used in the actual cooling of the engine compartment, sort of?
For sure. So what they kind of do is when the air comes in, it has a little flap that allows the air to actually travel in there without letting in any major debris or anything like that. But what you also have next to that hood scoop is gold trim accents that say the 392 right there on the hood. You'll notice more gold accents around the vehicle, like the tow hooks and the stitching on the seat. But what they've done here is they've set the gold standard for their vehicle. With the 392, that is their top trim in the Wrangler. And they're loving it. And with this black, it goes great together, I think, don't you?
Well, to me, it looks like the old Smokey and the Bandit, for lack of a better description. But, everybody knows what that looks like. And here's kind of the Jeep version. But only because this one is in black. You'll be able to get other colors. Yep. Right. What about the wheels? These wheels look pretty special.
So they do have a special wheel package out. I believe they have two options. On this one, we kind of have a granite and a beadlock interlock capable wheel. On there, you got your 33-inch tires for the Rubicon, and it actually sits about 2 inches higher than your standard Wrangler. They put a 2-inch Fox kit on there, so it's going to have the Fox Racing shocks, and it's going to give you a 10.3-inch ground clearance compared to the, so it's a little bit lower than your actual standard Rubicon, because it sits a little heavier. The standard Rubicon is going to be 10.8, but you're still going to be fully off-road capable. That being said, it does have the highest water fording ability in a Wrangler, so that's how high you can drive through water. It's a staggering 32.5 inches, and as Frank touched on earlier, that's 2.5 inches higher than the 4xe.
Oh, wow. And going back to those Fox shocks, even they are trimmed in gold. So even the special shocks underneath this thing. And then something else that is a nice surprise, or maybe it shouldn't be a surprise, under the bumper. What are you going to find?
You're going to find a very sweet, pretty much quad exhaust system. It's two-piped exhaust, and it's actually pretty sweet because they've added more of a polite mode to it. So you've got a quieter exhaust for your long trips if you're not wanting to
for the neighborhood.
For the neighborhood. And then they've got a one button that you can touch, and it will literally turn this thing into sounding like something you'd find at a drag strip.
You can't, I'm guessing, Nathan, you can't just, at the factory drop in a 392. I mean, this is considered, I guess, like a big block, motor used to be back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
So that extra weight and everything else. Have they had to do anything else to the structure of the Jeep just for all that extra weight and power?
Yep, they've reinforced literally everything on here. They haven't redesigned it completely, but what they've done is added more strength to everything. They've added bigger brakes to it. They've added, obviously, the suspension's a little different to handle that engine and also speed. But they've done a lot of work on this vehicle to make it capable of having that engine.
Because, and you already hit on it here, Nathan, that, as fast as this thing is, you've also got to be able to stop more quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And with the bigger brakes, this one is going to be able to do that. And how about the exclusivity of this Wrangler 392? I understand this one is going to be a pretty rare sight. How rare is it going to be?
Chrysler has allotted us 4 of these things for the whole year of 2021. So what that means is that they are order only. So if you want a 392, you got to come in, place a factory order. And right now we've already gotten 2 of them. So we have 2 left.
That's pretty cool. Oh, man. Well, Nathan Pollard with Leith Chrysler Jeep, thanks so much for going over the high points here of the Wrangler 392. It is a incredible looking machine here in the showroom of Leith Chrysler Jeep. Thanks a bunch, man.
Thanks for having me.
0 to 60 is a production of LeithCars.com. Like us on Facebook @LeithCars.
The copyright in this podcast and its contents belongs to Leith Incorporated.